Welcome to another video session. We are discussing about the Fourier series, the properties of Fourier series. In the previous session, we had looked into the linearity property and the frequency shift and the time shift property of the Fourier series. In this session, we will continue with the remaining properties of the Fourier series. The scaling property. We say that if x of t forms a Fourier series pair with x of k, then what will be the Fourier series of x of at? All right, what will be the Fourier series of x of at? Here this is not correct. We will derive it. Okay, so x of at is represented as z of t, and the Fourier series pair of z of t will be z of k, and x of k is not the same, it will change because of the scaling property. Now let us see that. So by definition, x of k is equal to 1 by t or integral over 1 period x of t e to the power of minus jk omega naught t dt. So this is what is the standard definition we know. Now from this, we want to find out what is x of at. So we will put z x of at here, and if t is the period of x of t, then the period of z of t will be t by a. And we know that the signal x of t is a periodic signal. All right. And the fundamental period will be capital T. And a is the scaling factor. So as we know, if a is greater than 1, the signal will get compressed. And if a is less than 1, the signal will get expanded. So the same condition holds. So the period of this signal, the time scale signal x of at will be, the period will be t by a. So similarly, if the frequency of this signal is omega naught, so that will also be scaled by a into omega naught. All right. So therefore, it will be multiplied by a factor of a. So when we multiply a with t, it will also get multiplied by a into omega naught. So therefore, we can write this as z of k, which is the complex Fourier series coefficients, is equal to 1 by t by a integral t by a, that will be the over 1 period. That means minus t by a to plus t by a. Okay, so that will be over 1 period. And as I said, the period will change to t by a, will get scaled. Z of t e to the power of minus j k into a into omega naught t dt. All right. So the a in the denominator will go to the numerator. So it will become a by t integral over a period t by minus t by a to plus t by a x of at e to the power of minus j k a omega naught t dt. All right. So we know this formula in terms of x of t. So we do not know in terms of at. So therefore, let us put at is equal to m. Therefore, what will be dt? Dt will be equal to 1 by a into dm. So if you substitute this in the above equation, so at will be equal to m. So if you substitute here, z of k will be equal to this a by t is outside the integral. It is as it is. So integral over 1 period, and at will become m. So x of m e to the power of minus j k at will again become equal to m, and the omega naught remains. And so here dt will be 1 by a into dm. So it will be 1 by a dm. So this a and that a cancels out. So you get 1 by, I mean, the AA cancels out, you end up with only the dm. So z of k will be a by t integral over one period. I mean, this a's have cancelled out, so it is only 1 by t over the integral over the, I mean, integral over one period x of m e to the power of minus j k omega naught m dm. So which will be same as x of k. So therefore, we see that when we scale the signal, when we scale the signal, the interval, that is the integral, just gets scaled over the minus t by a to plus t by a, and rest all remains the same. So that is the scaling property of the Fourier series. The next is the time differentiation property. That means if you differentiate with respect to time, what will be its Fourier series coefficients? What will be its Fourier series coefficients? So if x of t and x of k form the Fourier series pair, then we have the differential of x of t as d by dt of x of t. What will its Fourier series pair be? So it will get multiplied by jk omega naught. That is, its Fourier series x of k will get multiplied by jk omega naught term. So let us prove this. So by definition, we know x of t is equal to sigma k equals minus infinity to plus infinity x of k e to the power of jk omega naught t. So we know we have two definitions, right? One is the ck definitions or the x of k definition, and the other one is x of t definition. So we are using the x of t definition. That is, given the Fourier series coefficients, how we find the periodic continuous time periodic signal. This is a formula. If given the continuous time signal, how we find the Fourier series coefficients? We are integrating over one period. So I hope you remember that formula. So in this case, we are using the other formula, that is the exponential Fourier series formula. Okay. Now we differentiate with respect to t on both sides. So this on the right hand side, it will become d by dt of x of t. And when you differentiate this side, you are going to differentiate with respect to t. All right. So when you differentiate, it will result in e to the, jk omega naught, right? So when we differentiate on both sides, so we get this as sigma k equals minus infinity plus infinity x of k jk omega naught into e to the power of jk omega naught t. All right. So therefore, we say that the term d by dt of x of t forms the Fourier series pair with jk omega naught into x of k. So these two form the Fourier transform pair. So this is what is the time differentiation property. That means when we differentiate with respect to time for the signal in the time domain, then in the frequency domain, the Fourier series coefficients get multiplied by this term called jk omega naught. All right. So that is the understanding from this time differentiation property. Next, we have looked into what is convolution. That is, convolution is the operation where one signal is a mathematical operation in which one signal we fix it and move the other signal over the fixed signal by reflecting it, by reflecting the second signal and shifting it by an amount t, where t varies from minus infinity to plus infinity. And that is over the non-overlapping, overlapping, partial overlap, and fully overlap, and all those regions we have seen and worked out some problems. So similarly, we saw that was a very lengthy process of doing that problem, and so much of steps involved. Now let us look into how this convolution helps So we are performing the same convolution in the time domain. So how do we represent convolution? First, let us see what these time signals are. So x of t and y of t are the two time signals. So if x of t has a Fourier series pair x of k and y of t has a Fourier series pair y of k. So how do we convolve? If we say z of t is a convolution of x of t with y of t, then what will be the Fourier series pair of this z of t? So the Fourier series pair of z of t will be z of k, which will be nothing but x of k multiplied by y of k into the fundamental period capital T. Now you see that the process we were doing in the time domain, which was a lengthy process of convolution, and what was so uh, time consuming, can just be done by taking the Fourier coefficients and multiplying those two signals in that frequency domain and multiplying with the fundamental period. It is as simple as that. The convolution operation in the time domain is multiplication operation in the frequency domain. So you simply have to take the Fourier series coefficients of both these signals that you're trying to convolve in the frequency domain, multiply them, and multiply finally with the fundamental period t. So that would give you the convolution of these two signals, the result of convolution in the frequency domain. Now, how do we come back from the frequency domain back to the time domain? So we have to take the Fourier series coefficient formula. So if you use that, we'll come back to the z of t formula. Okay, now let us see what is the proof of this. So z of k, which is the Fourier's complex Fourier series coefficients, are given by this formula 1 by t over 1 period z of t e to the power of minus jk omega naught t dt. Always remember the Fourier series coefficients will come with integral, and the e power term will have minus. When you're looking for the periodic time signal, x of t will be equal to, that will be a sigma here, and here will be the exponential term will be a plus sign. So you have to remember that, otherwise you will be confused. All right, let us continue with this. Now, what is z of t? Z of t is nothing but convolution of x of t with y of t. So we have taken the convolution. So what is the convolution formula? Integral. Now this is a periodic signal. So unlike the convolution whatever we studied in the previous topics, so convolution there, the integral will vary from minus infinity to plus infinity. Now here we are talking of one periodic signal, and it will be over one period only. So the convolution will be over one period and not over minus infinity to plus infinity. The range will not be from minus infinity to plus infinity. So therefore, the convolution notation, and what is the formula for convolution? Integral, instead of minus infinity to plus infinity, this will be over one period, x of tau, y of t minus tau, d tau. So this is our convolution formula for periodic signal. All right. Now once we put this here, because we have to find out what is this x of t convolved with y of t. So for that we are substituting this formula. So once we put here, z of k will be equal to 1 by t, two integrals over the same period, x of tau, y of t minus tau d tau e to the power of minus jk omega naught t dt. So this term remains as it is. So we have substituted simply this term for x of t convolved with y of t. Now let us rearrange this and interchange the order of integration. So x of tau is independent of t, so we will get this outside. So this is with respect to tau. So we are integrating with respect to tau and t. All right. So we have two different integrals. Next, we do not know the integral for that previous. So we do not know the integral for y of t minus tau. So therefore, we will substitute for what is t minus tau. So we will take a change in the variable, let t minus tau is equal to m. So dt will be equal to dm. So in this integral, here, this first integral is for tau and this integral is for t. So here t is variable and tau is a constant as far as this integral is concerned. When the tau comes here, then only the tau makes sense for the variable here. All right. So therefore, we have said that substituting t minus tau is equal to m and simplifying, we get y of the inside bracket, inside integral term, we get this as y of m e to the power of j minus jk omega naught tau plus m, because it is t there, so t will be equal to m plus tau, d tau dm. So we have d tau dm. We can split this into two terms and get the d tau an exponential term with respect to tau and dm with respect to the exponential term m. So we get two different terms by simply taking this change in the variable. So we have 1 by t integral over 1 period x of tau, and here again e to the power, this is x of tau e power minus jk omega naught t d tau. So this will give us x of k and this term will give us y of k. And this is over, of course, it should have over one period 1 by t, 1 by t. So here 1 by t is missing. So therefore, we are simply multiplying with t and t because it has to be 1 by t. So 1 by t is missing. So we put that t. So 1 by t into, so there are 2 and this 1t. So it will get cancelled. So we get capital T, that is over one period, the period, to x of k into y of k. So therefore, we have proved that the convolution in the time domain is nothing but the multiplication in the frequency domain. So we have seen that this is the frequency domain multiplication. So whatever was the uh, convolution operation, such a lengthy operation, could simply be now done by using this property. Okay, so you see that when they ask you to convolve two signals, and you can easily find the Fourier series of those two signals, multiply them, and multiply with the fundamental period t, and convert it back into the time domain, and you will get the convolution result, which is so simple. All right. So this is, I hope now you'll be able to appreciate the properties. So by using the property, we can solve the problem more faster or more efficiently. Okay, let us look into another property, that is a modulation property. Modulation is nothing but multiplication. As I said previously, convolution in the time domain resulted in multiplication in the frequency domain. So similarly, multiplication in the time domain will result in convolution in the frequency domain. So that is what we are trying to prove here with this modulation property. So modulation is multiplication of two signals, x of t with y of t. So what will be the Fourier series pair of that? Will be x of k convolved with y of k. Now let us prove this. Z of k is equal to, by definition, we know this formula, 1 by t over 1 period z of t e to the power of minus jk omega naught t dt. But what is zt? Is x of t multiplied by y of t. All right. So next, what is our x of t? We will keep one signal as it is. The other signal will substitute from the we'll substitute the formula for x of t in terms of the complex Fourier series coefficients x of k. So x of t will be equal to sigma k equals minus infinity plus infinity x of k e to the power of plus jk omega naught t. So once we substitute here, we get this as 1. So for this x of t, we have substituted this term here. So we will get here. Now these exponential term you can club together. So this will be equal to, finally the z of k will be equal to, now you can interchange the order of integration and summation. So the summation can go outside and integration with respect to t. So sigma k m equals minus. So here instead of k, it will become in terms of m. And wherever k is there, you have to replace with m in this case for the first case, right? So m equals minus infinity plus infinity, because it will be confusing. Here also 1k, there also 1k, it will be confusing. So for that reason, we have represented this in terms of m. So sigma m equals minus infinity plus infinity x of m 1 by t over 1 integral over 1 period y of t e to the power of minus j k minus m omega naught t dt. All right. So if you see, this is nothing but y of k minus m. So this is nothing but the Fourier series of Fourier series coefficients are y of k minus m. So this bracket term. So therefore, sigma m equals minus infinity plus infinity x of m y of k minus m. Now this is nothing but the discrete time convolution formula. So as I said, in the discrete time, instead of integral, it will be a summation. And now this is not the periodic signals. So therefore, in the discrete time, we will have the summation. So it will be from minus infinity plus infinity. So therefore, this is nothing but the convolution formula. So we represent with the convolution notation x of k convolved with y of k. So therefore, we have proved that the multiplication in the time domain is nothing but convolution in the frequency domain. So that is what we have proved. The next important theorem is the Parseval's theorem, which says that the power or the power content remains the same for the signal. That is what is the Parseval's theorem here. So you see that this is the average power content of the signal. So it will be, so in this place we will be equating x of t with x of k. No other place we will be equating it like this with the integral. All right. So the proof, the power of the periodic signal is given by 1 by t integral over 1 period mod x of t whole square dt. For a continuous time signal, how we find the power of a periodic signal, we have discussed in the unit 1. So this is the power of a periodic signal. So power signals are periodic signals. If you recall, I did mention power signals are periodic signals and non-periodic signals are energy signals. So we had done an energy and power signal classification. There we had discussed. So this is a periodic signal. So it will have an average power, and average power can be computed using this formula. So therefore, what is this mod x of t whole square? That is nothing but x of t into x conjugate of t. Now we have, what is x of t? X of t is equal to sigma k equals minus infinity plus infinity x of k e to the power of jk omega naught t. So this is also called as a synthesis equation. All right. So for this, let us find out what is x conjugate of t. So you take conjugate on both sides of this. So x conjugate of t will be is equal to conjugate operation. So e to the power of plus j will become e to the power of minus j, and x of k will become x conjugate of k. So therefore, we put substitute for what is x conjugate of k, x conjugate of t in the above equation here for the power signal here. So P will be equal to 1 by T integral minus T by 2 to plus T by 2 x of T. And what is this x conjugate of T? Is this term here. So when you substitute here, we get, and then interchange the order of summation and integration, we get P is equal to K sigma K equals minus infinity plus infinity x conjugate of K 1 by T integral over 1 period x of t e to the power of minus jk omega naught t dt. Now what is this? This is nothing but x of k. So this term is nothing but the Fourier series coefficient, exponential Fourier series coefficient, that is called the analysis equation. So the previous one, finding x of t, we call the synthesis equation. Finding x of k, we call the analysis equation. So analytic equation. So this is the equation. So which is nothing but x of k. So x of k into x conjugate of k is nothing but mod x of k whole square. So therefore we have proved that the power, the average power remains the same over the period. So that is what is the Parseval's theorem says. So the implication of this theorem is that the energy should not change, or sorry, the power of the power content of the periodic signal should not change when you go from one domain to the other domain. So that is what is the implication of this Parseval's theorem. Okay, so far we have seen the Fourier series representation. We have seen the properties of Fourier series. In the next session, we will look into the Dirichlet conditions, the trigonometric Fourier series, exponential Fourier series, and the complex Fourier spectrum. And then we will take some more problems on. We will take some problems on this Fourier series. Thank you. With this, we will wind up the session here. Thank you.